Yeah, that's my fault.
Unforced error right there by Portillo. Canada scores the first point, goes up 1-0 here in game one. And I know you recognize that first point of the match. You always say is
yeah, that's kind of the way you start off, right? Like you're kind of feeling good when you make that first point.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of the butterflies out. It's a nice, comfortable swing right there by Portillo. Mexico's on the board here with their first point.
Ties it up 1-1.
Unforced errors will not be welcome here today by Canada's coaching staff. They're old school staff, and they know that mistakes don't go well, and certainly skips. And there's a third one by Mr. Webb here. So now Mexico's up 3-1. And check out Portillo's style. He's kind of chill and relaxed, right? He reminds me of Barrios from Bolivia. But that's kind of that's very common with the Mexico players. They just look real relaxed, but I think it's a lot of confidence.
And I'm sure they practice for that too. Yeah, a good start for Portillo. 4-1.
It's exactly, when you're the favorite or the higher seeded player, that's exactly how you want to start. You want to kind of come right out of the gate and try to strip your opponent of their confidence or even their will to be out there with you. Couldn't have wrote a better start for Portillo if I was coaching him.
But we've seen this before, right? And I'm going to predict that these guys are feeling each other out a little bit right now. Webb's made a couple errors, which has given Portillo at least 3 of these 5 points.
Called an avoidable on that. Portillo had a setup in the middle of the court. Maybe we can check a replay if we can. So they did do. So what happened there was the referee called a point because he said that Portillo had an offensive opportunity. He hit Trevor with the ball. Therefore, he called a point for Portillo. Trevor appealed it to the linesman. The linesman overruled the referee, so it was just a hinder replay. I could tell you, sometimes getting hit with the ball, though, Laura, it gives you a little bit of energy and it gets you a little bit amped up. And I've seen it, work both ways. I've seen some players kind of fold and quit. Then I've seen other players get excited and amped. Like getting hit with that ball kind of wakes you up a little bit.
So do you have to test that against your opponent when you're out on the court? Let me try to hit him once and see what his reaction is.
No, fair play out here.
All right, the IRF code of conduct too. 5-1 Portillo serving. Webb, no point scored. Just one rally there.
Reminding me right now a little bit of what we saw yesterday in Gerardo Franco, the way he kind of was dancing around the court and, scoring points rather easily. Trevor's scrappy and he's going to continue to fight, obviously. And, it's just the way Eduardo plays with his personality and his demeanor out there. He's very relaxed. And that's a great shot. I mean, that's a perfect, Laura. What's that? Your favorite shot?
Down the line.
That's how you win points in racquetball.
And to me, it's it's a simple shot, but it's so effective. It might not be as impressive as like a pinch, which I know a lot of players go for. We saw Fernandez starting to resort to that in the semifinal previous to this, but sometimes you got to keep it clean and basic.
Another perfect down the line right there. And what I like to say, is you're exactly right. Splatting is for the show and passing is for the dough.
Exactly. Timeout called on the court. Probably a good time for Trevor Webb and Canada to call a timeout. Eduardo Portillo kind of dominating so far in game one. And, I'm looking for a pattern here today because we saw one yesterday where that dominant player was crushing it in game one. But then their opponent really starts to come back in 2 and 3. And that's what creates a great show for everyone watching and creates a lot of great competition for us here.
Yeah, it's tough too, and we talked about that. When you call that timeout, when you come and the match starts and your opponent kind of dominates and gets a big lead, it's tough because you are feeling each other out. So even though you're the one down, you don't really get the chance to get your feel and your momentum. So that timeout is a difficult thing. It's like you want to control and weather the storm. So, if it was 4-1 or 5-1, that's a little different. But, Trevor hasn't really hit too many balls. So, to get that feel-out process, he may still be a few more points away. Next thing you know, snap your fingers, and it's 12-2, 12-3, and game one's almost over.
Yeah, you don't want to let it run away with you.
And you love that, right? What do you do?
Down the line. But I also love that timeout did break some of the momentum out on the court and changes thing, and Webb now with an opportunity to score. So good for Canada.
He got exactly what he wanted.
Yes.
Trevor called the timeout, and he needed a side out, and he got it. So the timeout worked. It's got to execute this.
Defense.
So right there, that was just a case of really bad shot selection. We talk about, I like to say patience, recognition, execution. Eduardo was just a little more patient right there. Trevor was a little impatient where he went for that reverse pinch into the left corner. He missed it, left it wide open, left it up, and then Portillo could just hit a nice, easy down the line to win.
A lot of mistakes, it looks like, coming from Webb right now.
Can't win, you can't win a match or a game with one shot, so you really got to be patient. And it's tough, at 18 years old, you want to look good doing it also. And, those pinches and your shot selection is sometimes kind of erratic. But these guys are great players. They both have great futures. Eduardo for Mexico, Trevor for Canada. And they're going to learn. This is all a learning process.
Yeah, and I really expect Webb to start turning things up, cut down on some of those mistakes, and make some better decisions while he's out there on the court, because he has what it takes. I mean, that's why he's here in the semifinals of the Junior World Championship. 1 serving 9.
Yeah, right now what you see the biggest difference with the two of them is that Portillo is executing those setups or his opportunities. And, he's taking 1 or 2 less swings every rally than, say, Trevor is. Trevor's working a lot harder for every point he wins. Pretty good shot right there.
Side out, Webb holds off Portillo with no points scored. It'll be 1 serving 9.
Trevor Webb actually recently won the national doubles with Mike Green, who's a veteran and one of the greatest players out of Canada. So he's currently also on the adult team.
I like that. We see that a lot, that these players, play up and really get a lot of additional experience by playing not only in the juniors, but playing at the adult, in the Pan Ams and the Worlds. And what a fantastic opportunity for a young player to play with such an experienced player and learn from that.
Absolutely.
Side out for Portillo. Mexico has quite a reputation that they're defending. They won last year across many boards, and so they're here defending quite a few titles at the Junior World Championship.
Yeah, Mexico definitely, they're always in every single division, boys and girls. They're always a chance to gold, silver, and bronze. They're really tough. They have an amazing program down there. And what's great is I see a lot of countries following suit on kind of how they do it, and they're developing their junior programs based on some of the things that Mexico does. It's just a great shot right there. Wow.
Oh, nice flick there from Trevor. He's going to appeal it. You can see those lines judges. They both agree with the head ref.
Yeah, shot looked good. Definitely looked good. Trevor's actually apologizing that he appealed. He's such a good kid. I was talking to him, before the match, and it's okay, Trevor. You can appeal that. That's what they're there for.
Right, you got 3. You can use them.
There you go. Nice shot by Trevor. Another timeout by Trevor. That'll be his second and last one of game 1.
Yeah, so he's used up all of his timeouts. From a coaching standpoint, what's your point of view on that in terms of, we've talked about how valuable those timeouts are, but why would he call a timeout now when he steps in to serve?
Well, what's interesting, Laura, what I noticed there was it doesn't look like his coach called that timeout. It looked like he did. So the way I coach, having a feel as a player, because I like to say I'm a player first, but I do coach also, is that he must have felt it. So when the player feels something, sometimes as a coach, you kind of call a serve or the timeouts. But in that case, it looked like Trevor just wanted it. So when he comes off to me, even though maybe I agree or disagree with it, the player knows, just as well how they feel. And he wanted it, and that's it. You just kind of go with it, and you motivate him and give him the information he needs and go from there.
And I think it's so important that, coach and player dynamic too. And we see that at an event like this. That's why the Junior Worlds is one of my favorite events, because we have the coaches, we have the players, we have a team kind of setting, which you don't normally get, at, say, Pro Stops or other types of tournaments. And then since it's the juniors, you add in the parental factor and you just increased everything, right? You just really spread the web there on that one.
Yeah, that's for sure. The parents, could definitely come into play. Let's just leave it at that.
They are a factor.
Side out there for Portillo.
Yeah, it looks like that timeout didn't do anything to rattle Portillo. He's playing really confident, smooth. We've seen that from the Mexican players. We saw it from Sebastian Fernandez, who played in the 16 and unders. We saw it from Gerardo Franco, who was playing on the other side of the draw in the 18 and unders for Mexico.
Another great shot right there. He's just setting up every point. He's playing really clean, really efficient. So what I would say here, if I'm coaching Webb, just for, to teach him every point, every detail matters. So he won that point, but it wasn't really a smart point. That shot that he took probably wasn't the best shot. Portillo just made an unforced error and skipped it.
2 serves 11.
Simple game, Laura, right? It's so easy from out here. Again, I'm not that smart, but for any of you that are watching racquetball at home, hit the ball away from your opponent, and Portillo is executing that, and he's hitting it away from Trevor Webb, who is a very good athlete and very fast. So you can kind of see how effective that shot must be. Whereas that ball was right back at Portillo.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. It can be so essential not to hit that ball right back to the center, because that's the ground that your opponent is. You guys are fighting for that center court positioning.
Yeah, usually the player that controls center court is going to come. Not usually, I would say 100% of the time, the player that controls center court in a match is going to be the one who wins it. It's very rare and probably never that somebody that is out of position wins the match. So you want to control that.
13-2. Portillo serves.
And center court is right there, kind of, for those of you at home that aren't sure, it's right at that, we call it the 5-foot line, the dotted red line. You want to be like one step behind it, right there. That's the area you want to control.
That's a good tip.
Well, thank you. And notice how, Portillo seems to be going back to center most of the time, controlling what I call home. That's your home. That's where you want to be. How do you get there? Good shots, good shot selection, and executing, of course.
Portillo back in the service box. 13-2. Webb looking like he's tightening things up a little bit. You can see that he has a lot of power. I like that view from that front camera.
Yeah, I would like to see him pick up his energy a little bit.
2 serving 13.
It's amazing how much you can see when you look into somebody's eyes when you're competing. Wow. It's creative. That's a Frederic Lambert overhead forehand in the left corner.
Pulling from that Canadian team, huh? 3 serving 13.
So there he went for it again, Laura, and that's a little bit low percentage. You can't go for that twice, 2-3 times in a row. Against the better players, you're not going to get away with it. You have to play high percentage, play smart, keep it simple. If the score was reversed and he was up 13-3 and I was coaching him, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Not when you're trying to fight and scrap and claw your way back.
It's like you got it once. Going for it a second time was maybe too much. That puts Portillo now at game point, 14-3.
First game point here for Mexico.
There it is, Portillo winning game one, 15-3, kind of dominating a little bit in game one, but I predict a totally different game two. Let's take a look back at a couple of the last points. That one's too far back.
That was an amazing 11-10 breaker.
Match, it was an incredible game.
We're just queuing it up over here.
There's Portillo serving.
Nice little half lob to the forehand. Trevor with a pretty good overhead cross court. Great get by Portillo. Flicks it up. Looks like it's coming off the back wall for Trevor, which is usually an offensive shot, and it was. And he missed it. So he skipped that shot for a point, Portillo.
And looks like we're going to go ahead and take a quick break now in between games. We'll be back in just a moment with more of our semifinals of the boys 18 singles. We're back now, ready for game two. And Portillo winning game one, 15-3 over Trevor Webb. I'm really predicting Webb coming back and putting some more pressure on Portillo.
Not a good start for your prediction, but Portillo he's very relaxed, and everybody at home, notice the different type of serve Portillo's hitting. What this is called, if he does it again, let's see. He's hitting a lob serve, so it's a higher, softer serve. That's a straight in high lob forehand to the forehand. Ref called a hinder, so they're going to replay it. And for those of you at home, a hinder is if the player is obstructed or not able to take a full swing, it can be called a hinder, and that's going to be a replay.
Oh.
There you go, Trevor, with a good shot.
And again, he was staying in that center court, or at home, as you like to call it, and he really controlled that. He got to be more offensive. We've seen him so far mostly on the defensive.
Yeah, very. And I think by nature, I think he's like a defensive player. I think he's more comfortable retrieving and scrapping and getting balls back. But, to win this match, you're definitely going to have to be offensive. That's a great down the line right there by Portillo. And he skipped that unforced error. But he set up the point. He was in total control, and he's feeling very relaxed right now. Tell you, he executes his lines really better than I realized, I think.
Tied up 1-1. Oh, a little bit of an angle on that one for Portillo.
Unforced error. That right there is an absolute example of him being a little bit too relaxed.
Right, right. Two serving one.
You know, and sometimes when you play a player like this with this type of energy or this type of demeanor on the court, I think Trevor's like more of a high energy type player. You can actually come down to that. So, like, let's say that Portillo's in third gear, not by any means skill or taking it easy, just mentally and physically. You know, Trevor might be better as a fifth or sixth gear player. You kind of come down to that gear a little bit. I'd like to see Trevor be more offensive right now. I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive, swing a little harder, move a little faster, impose his will onto Eduardo. And Eduardo's just so comfortable right now.
Yeah, kind of shake up Portillo.
There you go. Like, that was a good swing. Be a little more aggressive and just a little bit of excitement and energy. And it's tough, you know, when a player's playing so as well as Portillo is right now, it's a lot easier said out here than it is to do in there.
Of course.
You know, and that was a simple down the line, but it's such a difficult, highly difficult shot. You know, there's not much Trevor could do with that except get back and do the best he can, and he just got the best of him there, so side out. You see, so if I'm coaching him right there, I tell him, Trevor, hey, don't try. He's trying to like place it and steer the ball. Just bring an onslaught of offense. He only needs 5 or 10 good minutes to have a good result in the game. And, you know, if he turns up that energy and just goes for a little bit more, I think it would actually help him right now. He's playing right into Portillo's game. Unforced error.
Yeah, but an opportunity now for Webb. He's only down by 1 point, different than we've seen in game one where Portillo really dominated. So it's 2-3 right now.
It's a great shot. Great backhand splat from 38 feet there by Trevor Webb.
He ties it up 3-3. I mean, I think that's an example, too, though, of a poor choice in the ceiling ball because it just came right back to Portillo's setup. He didn't even have to move his feet, right? I mean...
Correct, and he hit it from in the middle of the court, so he had the whole court to hit it. And again, another reason why I would like to see Trevor put a little more pressure, a little bit more pressure on Portillo. And yes, sometimes that means going for shots you normally wouldn't. But, you know, he's playing arguably the best junior in this event. And, you know, you gotta step it up a little bit, mentally and physically. Oh, wow.
Oh, a double fault for Portillo. We don't see that too much, but we did see one in the previous match. Diego Garcia had a double fault.
Yeah, so for everybody at home, it hit the front wall, side wall, and then the other side wall on a fly. That's 3 walls on a serve, so that's a fault. Can't do that.
One too many.
Yeah, that ball looked like a skip. That's a good call, I think, there, Laura.
Oh, and an appeal. We can see the referees on either side. One agrees, one disagrees. So the side out stands. 3-3.
Short serve here. Yeah, a lot of these juniors need to work on their service game. I've been seeing a lot of inconsistent, when the kids drive serve. They need to definitely go home and work on that with their coaches or themselves.
They're very grateful for the 2-serve rule. But it can be so effective to get that drive serve in. It almost seems like a wasted effort if you're not even coming close to it, you know?
It all starts with the serve, Laura. It's the only time as players the ball is in our hand and we can do whatever we want with it.
Like a foul shot in basketball.
Yeah, Trevor just isn't executing. And he looks a little frustrated. Look at the body language.
Yeah, and it looks like he's talking to himself. We haven't seen that so far in the match.
It's only a problem if self talks back and answers back.
3-3. clean down the line. That's what I like to see. I feel like Trevor Webb is just leaving that ball a little too high, right? Like on that return. And maybe a little bit of like what you said, he's not being offensive enough.
Yeah, he's trying to like steer the ball and place the ball as opposed to just swinging through the ball. Like even right there, he kind of held up his backhand, and maybe he's in control at this point. He should win this right here. And he missed it. He's just stood straight up. He's pinching the ball way too much. So a pinch is when the ball hits one of the side walls, then the front wall. But what happens if you don't execute it is the ball is right in front of your opponent and it's coming right back at them. So it's a shot that we like to keep it simple for everybody at home. If your opponent is in front of you, you want to hit a pass, which is a down the line or across court. If they're behind you, then you go for the pinch.
That's good advice. Another simple down the line from Portillo. A little bit off speed and puts him up now 6-3. Feels like that was a quick 3 points and starting to open up the gap there for Portillo.
Just, you want to see Trevor, Trevor's fighting. He's not giving up by any means. Portillo's a great player. But you'd like to see Trevor be able to execute, a few more shots here and really make Portillo work a little bit harder, whatever you got to do. Dive, bleed, run, just fire away. See what happens. There you go. Again, that's a very difficult shot. It's not something you would teach, but he felt it and he went for it and, go for it. And
yeah.
Just try to find something to spark your energy.
Kudos to him for going for it.
Good. He's going to drive serve here. Go for it. Let's see what happens.
Gets it in.
It's just simple right there. It's just simple racquetball.
I mean, that's exactly what you just said, right? Your opponent's in front of you. You hit it to the back of the court, and he can't get there. Side out. 7-3.
Too many pinches by Trevor and easy re-kills by a very tall, what's considered tall racquetball player. He just kind of takes one step over and he re-kills. He's got great hands.
Yes.
Has great hands. I'm sorry, Laura.
Yeah, he kind of sticks that racket out there and it's just enough.
Good racket preparation for everybody at home. You want to get that racket up prior to getting to the ball and then swing through it. You see that, and if you see that in slow-mo, you'll see as Portillo comes to the ball, he's tracking it. His racket is already up in the ready position to hit it.
That looks like there's a timeout on the court. And Portillo leads 9-3. Taking a look back at one of those last points. It's like Webb calling that timeout. He's currently down 6 points in game 2. Portillo winning game 1, 15-3. We just got some news that Gerardo Franco, who we saw play in the quarterfinals yesterday, was just defeated by USA Daniel Mauro Rojas, who beat him 15-10, 15-11. That's a little bit of an upset. Franco seeded number 1, so surprising to see that. And it looks like a Mexican player now has been taken out of the race. So very interesting.
It's definitely an upset. I'm surprised at that result. I'm not surprised. Daniel Mauro Rojas, he's a great player. Comes from a great area of racquetball in Northern California with the Ellises in Stockton, California. But I would say that Gerardo, based on what he's been doing up to this point, was definitely the favorite in this event. And I'm surprised, but not surprised, because Daniel Rojas has every ability. He definitely has the heart, the commitment, and everything that's needed. Wow. Good for Daniel.
Yeah, it makes this event fun. We like to see that. We've seen both of those guys play each other on the Pro Tour, too, so they have a lot of experience. Rojas pulls off the win. He'll be moving on to the finals tomorrow. Back in this match, let's see if that timeout shakes up things for Portillo. Nice get. Oh, and a nice touch from Trevor Webb.
Very nice. Anytime your opponent dives at any level, even if you're a beginner and you have the ability to run up there, be aggressive while your opponent's down or trying to get up and cut it off, go cut it off and make it harder for them to go get the next ball. Good job right there by Trevor. And congrats to the Rojas clan out in the 209 area.
That's right.
Trevor, you can't skip those when you're trying to make a comeback, buddy.
His body language looked like he thought that same thing.
I mean, it was 3-4. He was right in this, and then Portillo just kind of did what he needs to. Good shot.
All right, I like that. Webb sticking with the basics, going down the line. That's what we've seen from Portillo, though, is just that really clean racquetball, and he's making smart decisions. So let's see if Webb can keep this up. It's 3-10. There's a point for Trevor Webb. You can hear Team Canada out in the stands cheering on Webb. 4 serves 10.
He's a hockey player too, Trevor.
Oh.
So you know he's going to scrap. He's not. Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Pretty sure that skipped. Let's just.
get
Can we
the
go to
replay
replay?
on that?
You want to appeal that, Mexico?
5 serving 10.
Then he does that. Nice and easy, nice and smooth.
Guess that could be a little bit of the youth, right? I feel like sometimes we forget we're watching kids, you're right? These guys are so young and so talented and outstanding players. They're still kids.
They are, but wow, great get by
Yes.
Portillo. Great shot right there by Trevor. Now Trevor's in control.
Good, he keeps
Gotta hit it right
Portillo
here.
running.
Still in control. Now it's shifted back. Wow. Patience, recognition, execution.
Nicely done, Portillo. That was a great rally, though, from both players. 11-5.
Yeah, these guys are kids, but these are this is the future of racquetball for all countries, and these are the next best players on the planet right here.
Especially at this 18 and under. I mean, some of these guys, this could be their last year playing, like Gerardo Franco. That was his last junior world championship. You're brought into the event at the year you are at the beginning of the year. So that's not a great explanation. But let's say you're 17 years old at the start of 2017. You can still play in the 8. No,
18.
I lost
No,
it.
no, you had it right.
You
had it
still
right.
play in the
so
16s.
right. So if January 1st comes, whatever age you are at January 1st, even if if January 2nd is your birth or January 1st is your birthday, including, you can play in that division. So if a 16-year-old is 16 on January 1,
they can still play
16 and under that year.
16 under, yeah.
Whoa, we just complicated that.
Man. If you want a simpler explanation, you could probably read it in the official rule book at internationalracquetball.com. I'm pretty sure it would be clearer than what I just did.
Yeah, just don't ask Sudsy.
Still 11-5. Portillo serving.
Good high lob, Nick.
Oh, and he gets there.
He's got that. Good shot right there. Good patience by Trevor. This game's a lot closer than the score.
Yeah. 5-11, but it feels tighter. There we have a point for Trevor Webb.
Yeah, nice and smooth approach right there by Trevor, and the difference right now is that he's executing those shots.
You said he's a fighter, and he's definitely holding on in game 2. 6 serving 11.
Also 6-11. He must have misread that because he didn't get a good jump on it. It was a great shot by Portillo. Once seis, Mexico serving, game 2. Portillo wants one here, Laura. He wants to close it out. He doesn't want to keep giving Trevor confidence and thinking he can come back and win this one.
So then the winner of this match would move on to face Daniel Rojas, correct?
Correct, for the gold medal.
That's what they're battling for now. So a replay, it's 11-6. Nice, smooth, a little bit off speed, keeps it low, gets the side out. Six serving 11 in game 2. Timeout on the court, probably a good timeout for Mexico. Portillo's been a little bit stuck at 11. Webb doing a good job of keeping him at bay and not allowing Portillo to score.
Yeah, I think that's a really good timeout, Laura. A little stagnant right now by Portillo, even though he's got the gap, got the lead. Great change of direction.
Oh, good get. Webb doing a really good job of moving in that rally. See another replay, Webb serving.
Wow.
That's the big skip.
So everybody at home, that would be the definition of a skip. The ball hits the floor before it hits any wall. In that case, it almost hit his foot.
Yeah, I was going to say it. Almost to his foot.
And in Spanish, they call that a piso. Great get right there by Portillo.
Such long legs. Oh, what a great get.
Good job by Trevor attacking that ball while he's down, and then Portillo gets this back too.
Yeah, he totally sticks with it.
Good tracking.
Boom, down the line.
Good shot. Back here.
Back in the match, Portillo calling that timeout. He serves 11-6. From the knees.
And as you say, Laura, so on that timeout, he got it, you know, being the server, he got exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah, he broke up some of that momentum. He got to take a bit of a mental break. He was stuck at 11, and he just got 12. So that's got to do something for your confidence, too. Webb.
Smooth. It's really difficult to take a ball out of the air like that and redirect it into the right corner. Well done right there by Trevor Webb from Canada. Team Canada in the red.
6 serving 12. Nice easy point for Trevor Webb. Puts him at 7. Wow, 2 points for Trevor Webb, puts him at 8. Still, he's looking very relaxed. I like his demeanor out there right now. You got to play 1 point at a time, right? And sometimes I think it is good for you to not totally be focused on the score.
Always, always. One at a time. You want to play in the now. You don't want to think about the last point. You don't want to think about the next point. So right there, okay, so Trevor's been very smooth, but what he should have done was put a little bit more on it.
$12 serving 8.
Short serve. Ball has to go over that second solid red line on a fly. And it did not.
Z serve. I like the way Portillo moves on the court too. I mean, he's so far in the back of the court, but he does a really great job of getting back up in that position. He has such long legs, it doesn't look like it takes him very long to get there. But he does a nice job moving around.
Definitely glides around the court well, and his movement is very efficient. He's not taking too many unnecessary choppy, as I call them, steps, and he's not like happy feet. Remember the Penguins? Happy feet?
That's a good analogy.
You know, he's very quiet down there, and then when he gets to the ball, he's set, and and that gives him an extra added ability to execute those shots. Good shuffling, good footwork. Wow, it's a great shot by Trevor. Great hands right there.
Yeah, I feel like he's doing a really good job with those off-speed shots. When he hits them soft, it's more effective for him right now.
Does it again.
And it gets him a point.
I think he called a replay.
They called a
I don't.
replay.
Yeah, I
I
agree
didn't
with
hear
you
that.
though, Laura. I think that was not a replay.
Thought it looked good. Pretty clean.
Surprised he didn't appeal that, Trevor. Does he have appeals left? He does.
Oh. Really hugging that wall down that line.
(13-8). Trevor making Portillo work for every point here, though, now. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Here's going to be an opportunity. Good pass. Oh, it's a great shot. Good hands right there by Trevor. Well done. Nice re-kill.
8-13. It is a much more competitive game, too. I like to see Webb really keeping this pressure on Portillo.
As you called it.
Oh, he's able to capitalize on that opportunity. Put it away.
Punto.
Puts it at 9-13.
9-13. How's your Spanish? Is your Spanish getting better, Laura?
Más o menos.
There you go. Nice. Not bad.
13? No, 9-13.
Exactly.
A bit of a ceiling game. Who's going to be the first to swing?
Wow.
Oh, no. Skip a ceiling ball. I thought only I did that.
We all do it at some point.
13-9. Second serve.
Going to come with that half lob at the camera. Nope.
Looks like he's lining up for a Z. Oh. Webb holding on.
This is where it gets frustrating for Portillo. He knows he's 2 points away, and this is where he's now going to start trying to maybe force a few things. We'll see, but Trevor keeps just fighting and scrapping his way.
That defense. Oh.
Yeah, that was a little different. Little bounce in his step right there by Portillo. He's sensing and recognizing too, like, hey, tick-tock, it's time.
Yeah, we've talked about how difficult it can be to really close out a match. I mean, you've worked all the way to this point. He's only 2 points away from sending himself to the finals, but he's really got to fight. And look at Webb. I mean, Webb is responding really well.
Trevor is not done yet. Interesting to see if and when Portillo takes a timeout. They both have one timeout left, and it could be crucial here at the end. Kind of have similar game styles in a different way.
Similar yet different.
Yeah.
And another side out. Now, we saw this earlier, I think at 11-6 for Portillo. He called the timeout when he stepped in the service box to shake things up, and I think that's what you're saying, right? He still has that one timeout left. Could be interesting. He's been stuck at 13.
Another.
I mean, yeah, they just side each other out. I feel like somebody needs to call a tiempo.
Yeah, definitely. If I was coaching Trevor, I'd let him go and try to get him a couple points here. But if I'm coaching Portillo, I want him to get a side out, and then I want a timeout so I can have him come out, chat about this, and figure out how to get one.
Oh, nice. These guys playing that ceiling game. Trevor with another off-speed shot. He really controls those so well.
tell you, either way, tomorrow's final is going to be pretty exciting because Mauro Daniel Rojas is just the opposite type of a player. He's a power, swing big, hit it hard type player.
10 serving 13.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. He like misread it. Looked like he was a step off and then kills it. And it's another bit of an off-speed shot for him. 11-13. I think this is a great time for Portillo to call a timeout. Webb is just very persistent, and I like to see that from him. Kudos to the Canadian player.
It's the Canadian hockey player in him right there. His hands are spectacular.
Yes.
I didn't even realize they were this good.
From the knees, Portillo shoots it and wins that rally. Well, coming up next, we have more of the 29th International Racquetball Federation Junior World Championship. We'll probably take a moment to refresh our feed, so make sure that you guys come back to internationalracquetball.com, or if you're watching on Facebook, we'll start a new feed there. But thank you all for watching, and we hope you're sharing with your friends. Hit that like button, hit the share button, and keep sending us comments because we love to hear the feedback, and we hope you all are enjoying the outstanding competition by these young athletes this week. Webb will serve. Portillo had called that timeout. Let's see if he can get a side out or if Webb keeps scoring. 11-13. Oh, and a
Biso. A little more aggressive, a little more energy right there from Portillo, which is what I think he needs here. He can't play not to lose. He has to still play to win. And it looks like he's been playing kind of not to lose these last few points. And I'm not sure where that down the line went that was so effective first game and a half.
Right. He had kept it really clean and really basic. 13-11, second serve. Portillo with a bit of an off-speed shot there, a little bit softer, and now puts him at match point, 14-11.
First match point for Portillo. See what Webb does. Another opportunity for Webb. Another opportunity. Ooh! Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Kind of turned around. Oh.
That's why we need eye guards out here. I think he took that right in the eye guards.
It looks like Portillo's okay, thankfully.
Webb is apologizing. That's a great kid right there. He reacted quickly, which I think he did the right thing there. But Portillo actually got up really fast and right back in his line of fire. He definitely didn't mean to hit him with the ball like that in the face.
Looks like Portillo may have gotten cut with the eye guards. He did kind of take that one really tough right in the face.
Yeah, I don't think he had. What happened was I don't think he had the time to hold up. Like I think he was in the middle of his swing, and Portillo jumped up so quickly and jumped into the middle of the shot. I mean, he certainly wasn't intentional. Look at Trevor's.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Trevor's apologizing like crazy, and that's even something, as a player now competing, still trying to come back. It could affect him negatively. You just never know how this is going to affect each player.
And it's like we've been talking about Portillo so fast. So he got up there and turned around, so quick. It all just happened so quickly.
Yeah, Trevor did the right thing. He was trying to be aggressive and certainly didn't mean to do that. And I'm pretty sure the ref called an avoidable side out. First and foremost, I think Portillo's okay. They're just going to tend to his little cut maybe out there, and he'll be back and be okay. But, it's kind of part of the game, and it's one of the reasons why eye guards are mandatory.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually an injury timeout. So there was contact, obviously, which means then that they can take an injury timeout. They get a total of 15 minutes for injury timeouts. And so they'll have to make sure that he's ready to come back out on the court. And then once he comes back, he can't reactivate that injury timeout unless he suffers from another injury.
Correct. It's a 15-minute total running, so I guess he can use that same time for the same injury. Or is it total
I think
15
it
of
has to
anything?
be for a different injury. So
Okay.
if he comes back out and they have another
Oh,
rally
okay.
and he says, you know what, my eye is still hurting me,
Gotcha.
he can't
Ooh,
reactivate it. But if
interesting.
he got hit, say, by the racket or, twist, well, I don't want to, I don't want to jinx anybody, but let's say, something else happens, then they'll
Okay.
reactivate that 15
Gotcha.
minutes.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay. I think he will be. And Trevor was a little bit shaken up by that himself. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, if we can go to a replay, I mean, we'll show it one time here if we can find it. I'm not sure if we have it or if we can find it, but he didn't. Thank God, Trevor didn't take like a full, really hard swing. He was still doing that kind of touchy type game that he
Ooh,
has.
but yeah, it looked pretty harsh though. It looked pretty fast. Well, we hope you all are enjoying the live streaming. We are in downtown Minneapolis. This is actually the first time that the Junior World Championship has been in Minneapolis. And one of the things I love about this event is just the close proximity to everything. You can kind of pop out to your hotel. You're only a couple blocks away. You can kind of, enjoy the downtown area a little bit. It's much different than if you had to be bussed around. So Sudsy's going to go run down to the court, see if he can get an update on how Portillo's doing. It's really unfortunate that happened to his face. It looked like there was a cut there, maybe on the bridge of his nose where those eye guards, kind of have a little bit of a harder plastic piece there. Did look like he was bleeding. They had a towel on his face. And we'll work on getting that update. Trevor Webb coming off the court.
Sorry about that, Laura.
No, what'd you
I'm back.
find out?
Yeah, I just took a look at Portillo. He has just a tiny little cut, maybe a half inch right across the bridge of his nose, which definitely came from the eye guards. He looks okay. They're just icing it and maybe putting a little Band-Aid on it. Not bleeding too much. Looks like just kind of like a scratch, but it definitely didn't feel good. It's like getting punched in the face.
Yeah, I was just thinking,
I
mean, potentially that could end up swelling up later too. So it'll be important for him to take care of that.
Yeah, I've been in a situation. I was playing a match once down in Kentucky in a pro event. I was up 2-0 against a very good player, and it was really close. And he took a follow through and he blasted me right across the eye and cut my eye, and it was gushing blood, and kind of rattled my cage a little bit. And I lost the next 2 games.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I wound up coming back in the tiebreaker, but it took me time to recover from that. But here's Portillo back on the court.
Getting a nice applause from the crowd.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
glad he's okay.
Great kid. Let's see how it affects him because it was a side out. It was an avoidable. So Trevor will have the serve at 11-14 here.
Trevor Webb has just been really persistent. He's never given up.
Let's see. We'll see right here what happens with we'll know. I think we'll know right out of the gate here. This point, we'll see how that affects Portillo.
Wow.
Yes, that answers that.
Wow. Just like a pro.
Like a pro boxer. Got punched in the face and punched right back.
Yeah. Like nothing even happened. Second match point now for Eduardo Portillo. Short serve. We'll get a second. Oh. So what happened? Webb thinks it's skipped?
Yeah, Webb thinks it skipped, but I think it was the racket. He's going to appeal it, so we'll take a look here. Wow.
Oh, wow. The line judges are on opposite sides of that.
Yeah, I think he just cut it and his racket hit the floor first. Second match point right here. He's got to go for it. And there's the match.
He went for it. And Portillo is the winner of our 18 singles competition for the boys. He won game 1 15-3 and game 2 15-11. Congratulations to Trevor Webb too. He will be taking home a bronze medal for Canada in this division.
Great job right there by Trevor. Congrats, like you said, to Canada.